What's up, guys? I'm Tim Baumann, real estate agent here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Today I've got Brent with me. Brent's a loan officer, and this is part 2 of the home buying process, getting a pre-approval letter so that you can start part 3, which is go shopping for homes. What is a pre-approval letter? Pre-approval letter, if you're gonna buy a home, is and you're not paying cash for it, then you're gonna need to borrow the money, right? So they borrow the money from a loan officer, a mortgage broker, or somebody at the bank, or Brent. You can borrow the money from Brent, right? If you got 20 bucks on you?
Yeah.
No, see, my loan guy, love it. So if you guys are interested in buying a home and you don't have the cash to pay, the ability to pay cash for it, you're gonna need to borrow the money. And in order to do that, you're gonna have to go through somebody like Brent and get a few things checked off the list. Just make sure that you can afford to pay it back and that they're loaning the money on the right property. But basically, he'll issue you a letter. You and your real estate agent, like myself, are gonna use that letter to give to the home seller when you make your offer. And that is just you saying, hey, I'm gonna make you this offer to buy this house, and I have this letter over here from the bank that says they've already taken a look at my my income and a few other things, which Brent is about to explain, and I'm pre-approved and they will loan me the money if you accept my offer. We're gonna go through with the deal. And I'm already allowed to borrow this money, so we're good. My offer's good, right? That's pretty much what a pre-approval letter is. As a real estate agent, I'm not going to take anybody looking at houses that doesn't already have a pre-approval letter. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of their time. In this market, Brent, we're getting anywhere from 5 to 40 different offers on one house. So for me to take somebody out shopping and looking for homes and not have a pre-approval letter already in hand or in my email inbox from you is literally a waste of my dinner that evening, because even if I sent the offer in, if I didn't have that letter and it was going to come later on, my offer is not getting accepted for my client. So I'm doing them a disservice, myself, and of course my cold dinner plate too. So
Well, and the last thing that you want to do too is you want to show someone a house that they absolutely fall in love with. That they're not just ready to buy.
100%. So as a realtor, it's my job to know all the tips and tricks of the trade to be able to help them get what's best for them,
right?
But also what they fall in love with. So if I want to make an offer and explain to them, here's your choices, you could either offer this way or that way, and they want to get this home offer accepted, they love the house.
Yeah.
I mean, my hands are literally tied if I don't have a pre-approval letter. So.
And the beauty about it, Tim, is that pre-approvals don't take long. Like, it's not an arduous process.
That's a good point, yeah.
I only need a few basic documents that everyone should have within a quick search to do my findings and pre-approve someone. So that would be, I want 30 days bank statements.
Okay.
I want 30 days of your pay stubs.
Sure.
I want to see potentially your tax returns, but definitely your W-2s for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And I just want to verify, hey, are we working?
Right, of course. Can you pay the money back? Yeah.
Have we been working for at least 2 years?
Sure.
Or are we a college graduate or something like that? But, I just want to make sure that, hey, we have the financial wherewithal to be able to buy this house.
Another good point that you were just bringing up, the documents that you need, how quickly people can get them to you really dictates how quick you can do your job and get the answer back to them.
100%.
Right. So if someone was going to watch this video and reach out to you, should they have those documents before they even call you? Or can you kind of get them later?
Yeah, good question. So they can get them later. Ideally, the faster you get them, the faster I can work. But if you want, when you make that call to a loan officer, to me, if you already have your bank statements, your recent pay stubs, if you have your recent W-2s, if you have a copy of your driver's license, if at the end of that call, if you want to email those to me now, certain situations may call for different documents. So if you're recently divorced, I'm going to need a copy of your divorce decree.
Sure.
If you receive, disability or Social Security income, I'm going to need a copy of those so I can verify that income. So if you're a veteran, I need a copy of your discharge record, your DD-214.
There is a difference between a pre-approval letter and a pre-qualification letter. So what if someone was to reach out to you and they just kind of had a good idea of what those answers were? Is that kind of a phone call that maybe you'd be interested in having just to kind of help them get an idea of what path to go on?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Because getting those documents is just a part of the process, right? So let's have a conversation. Let's go through, let's figure out, hey, the house that you want to look at, is it within your means to be able to purchase?
Sure.
Now, understand that, but within today's market, a pre-qualification letter is not going to win the house over someone who has a pre-approval, because it shows that they are that much closer to being able to buy that house.
Let's talk about credit score.
Okay.
So if somebody wants to buy a home, oftentimes I'll get asked from first-time home buyers especially, well, what kind of credit do I have? Talk to me, just skim the surface over what kind of credit somebody might need to have.
So ideally, we'd like to see at least a 620 or higher.
Okay.
Okay, we do have options and programs to go lower than that, but it is very case specific at that point.
Sure.
A little bit about me is that prior to getting into the lending world, I owned a credit repair company locally.
I knew that. Yeah.
And so, if you are in that 540, 550, 580, 600, I don't know what my credit score is range.
Sure.
Then
That's a real range, by the way.
Yeah. Then I can really take a look at it and nail down those details of how we can boost that score up.
Awesome. And you know what, guys? Brent actually helped fix my credit back in 2017. So I have worked with a lot of clients that have felt a little bit of embarrassment to say that they're ashamed possibly of where their credit is. But life happens. And I love to help other people understand. I've been there as well. When you're getting your pre-approval letter, they're going to run your credit, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you run your credit. When you close on the house, closing on the house means putting ink to paper. It's the final step, and we're going to get to that video eventually. But that day, and usually 30 days later, when you're getting the keys to your new home, they may potentially run your credit again.
So we usually do like a soft pull. It's not gonna. Usually it won't ding you.
Okay. That's good to know.
There's different types of pulls, okay? There's a soft pull, there's a hard pull. So, and then there's also promotional, which we don't care about. But soft pull is where I can literally go in, and I can do this as a lender. So if you come to me and say, hey, I'm in that I don't know range, I can do a soft pull to where it's not a hard hit on your score.
Sure.
And I can see what's on our report. Now, a hard pull is a more intrusive that is going to show up as an inquiry on your Credit Karma or whatever credit monitoring app you use.
It's like credit talk right there. Yeah, yeah.
And generally, you may see a 1 to a 3 point, maybe in the worst case scenario, a 5 point drop in your credit score. We're not like auto lenders where they may shotgun your score and have 15, 20 different lenders pull your credit at the same time, where you might see a 50, 70 point drop. This is a one time. We're going to just use it, take a look at it, and it's not going to damage you significantly.
Sure. 2 points that I want to get to. The first one I want to stick to, I was already getting there, was they're going to pull your credit again, potentially a soft pull, right?
Yep.
On the closing day. And I tell my clients, from the day you get your pre-approval letter to the day you sign those closing documents, you need to be just as strong of a credit-worthy buyer on day 1, on day 30, as you were on day 1. So I typically say, you don't buy anything else other than lunch. Lunch is about as much money as you're allowed to spend.
I don't
care.
put it on credit.
You're not allowed to open up lines of credit.
No.
You do not get a brand new car. You are not allowed to go buy that bed that you love that would look beautiful in your brand new bedroom. Not allowed to get the couch, the furniture, anything, not until you have signed that paperwork and you got your keys in your hand. So that is a very big forgotten misstep when it comes to getting a mortgage or borrowing money to buy a home, that a lot of realtors have really kicked themselves in the butt, because they are supposed to remind you not to do anything such as go to the furniture store and take out a line of credit because the sale was really good and you're really excited. And guess what? You've got a whole new living room suite, and the bank will call you and say, we're not loaning you the money anymore. They do check, and that they will reverse their decision and not approve you and not loan you the money if you are caught or found to have gone out and opened up lines of credit and things that damage your debt to income ratio to the degree that they no longer feel safe or comfortable that you can afford to repay the loan. Stay the same. You just want to flow smoothly from start to finish through this process. And if your realtor doesn't remind you of that, remind them that they forgot to remind you. Tell them you watched this video. Make sure they start following us on YouTube, and then they'll thank you as well. And they're going to act like they remembered, but I promise you they didn't. So go ahead.
If you have something come up, because life happens.
Sure, of course, yeah.
Call your partner, call your lender, call your realtor and say, hey, my car broke down, I need to do this, I need to do that.
I'm thinking about replacing it, I'm sick of pouring money into this money pit.
I found a great deal at the furniture store. Call us before you make that decision, because we can really guide you through that process, because there could be another way.
How do we come up with how much home we can afford on a monthly basis? What if I know I only can afford $900 a month or $1,900 a month? How do I know how much that house price point what that might look like? So in general, let's say I come to you, Brent, hey Brent, I want to buy a house, but I only want to pay $950 a month, no more.
Right.
How do we go about figuring that out?
So, we'll first take a look at your income. and each loan program will allow us to go to a threshold mark. It's generally a percentage. So let's say your gross monthly take home is $5,000.
Sure.
Okay. We're able to go up to ballpark 40, 43, 45% of that. So $2,000, $2,200.
Okay.
As long as our liabilities don't exceed and push us over that threshold, then we should be good with that $900, $950 amount.
Perfect.
How do we determine how much house that is going to buy us?
That's the question.
The question is area. How much is our annual taxes? Because some areas your taxes might only be $1,200, in other areas they might be $5,000 a year.
Right.
And so we have to take that into consideration. Another factor is our homeowner's insurance. An older house is going to cost more to insure than a brand new build. Size matters, location matters. So those three things, plus maybe a homeowners association or a condos association, we factor all of that into what our monthly allowance can be, or
Sure.
what our budget wants to be, so that way we can tell you what your purchasing power is.
Beautiful. What about down payment? Down payment money, let's jump into that real briefly. What kind of money down does it take to buy a house?
So money down varies by the program. So if we go outside of the city center, we could maybe use a USDA loan, which doesn't require a down payment.
Okay. So there's 4 types, right? USDA, well, there's roughly...
USDA, VA, FHA, conventional, and then all within, there's different subsets of them.
Gotcha. So a VA is veterans. USDA is, I think, a farmers.
Yeah,
right?
Department of Agriculture loan, yeah.
There you go. Outside
yeah.
city limits.
Yep.
Conventional and then FHA.
Yep.
Right? Okay. So with those 4 types, money down. Some of them require money, some of them don't.
0 with USDA or VA, 3.5% with FHA.
Okay.
And then we could go as low as 3% on conventional.
Unconventional, gotcha.
Yep.
So percentage-wise, that's percentage of the amount that you're going to be paying for the home, right?
That's off your contract price.
Perfect. So the offer that you make on to buy the home for, the percentage, let's say 3%, you offer to give them $100,000. That's $3,000 just in the down payment money,
right? And
that's cash that you need to have liquid to be able to use to write a check for, right?
Yeah.
There's more money than just down payment money that it's going to take to get the home loan closed. So there's closing costs, there's an appraisal, and you do have to pay for the appraisal. There's the inspection, and should you choose to get the inspection. I highly recommend you get an inspection, but those things are going to need to be paid for up front as well. So I've heard it said 3 to 3.5% for the down payment, and also another 2 to 3% roughly for the other expenses combined.
That's about right. It may not even be 2 or 3%. It could be $3,000 or so for closing costs, somewhere within that range. But it does vary based on your purchase price.
Cool. A little nugget I'll give you here potentially is there's different creative ways that if, as your buyer's agent, we go out and make an offer, we might be able to get some of these fees wrapped up inside the loan in a backdoor kind of way that's not illegal, right? Everything's legal above the table, but with that, there are many different tips and tricks to the trade to help you come up with a little cash that maybe you don't have in your bank account. Speaking of them not having cash in their bank account, what about them being gifted money? Or let's say there are different ways they make their money, or mattress money, right? I've heard it called mattress money. I think I've heard you say that once. Talk about that. Gifted money, just briefly. You know, let's say they don't have $10,000 to buy a house, but their parents said they were going to give it to them because it was their wedding recently and they want to help.
Totally okay. There are formalities and ways to go about doing it, so just make sure you contact me first before you just go deposit $10,000 from mom and dad.
Oh, great idea.
Right? Because we want to be able to track and monitor that coming in and coming out or being transferred over. So there's ways to do it and there's wrong ways to do it. So make sure you call us before, so that way you can get some advice on how to do it.
As far as when it comes to buying a house, any cash that I make, maybe I bought and sold a vehicle, or maybe I like to make things that I was able to make as a hobby and sold them on the internet, whatever, and I was able to get some cash, but I've been saving it in my room for some time. How do I work with that? Can I use that kind of cash, or mattress money?
So any deposit over generally about 1% of the purchase price we're going to inspect. So if you have any amount of money just kind of throughout the house, it is not advisable to just go deposit it. Okay. If you are selling an asset, if you are selling a watch, if you are selling a motorcycle, if you are selling something of value, that's okay. We just need to document that value in the sale.
Sure.
If it is true money that you've just saved, there may be a seasoning period where we keep it into our account for 30 or 60 days.
Okay.
Before we can then use those funds.
So what if I want to buy a house and I always thought that I was going to use this saved up cash, and I've gotten under contract and I no longer can use this cash? That could become an issue.
Could be a big problem.
If I didn't tell my realtor or tell my loan officer where I was getting my down payment money from, right? So super important to make sure that you're completely transparent that, hey, I've been working since I was a teenager and I've been saving $20 a week since forever.
Right.
And now I have a lot of money saved up. I would probably want to make sure I tell them that that was always my house buying money and that you get it seasoned, right?
Yeah.
Deposit it, make sure a long enough period of time has gone by that it's been seasoned in your account, and they can use that, right?
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll put a link on the description part of the video here so they can follow you on social and find you in other ways. Maybe start out by DMing him if you're interested in some information.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have you put your cell phone number out on blast on the internet, but what we can do is have you DM him and you guys can start talking to whoever may need your help, answer some questions for them, and just go that direction. So awesome. Well, guys, just remember the pre-approval letter is something, it's that golden ticket. You're going to need that before you start shopping for homes, because when we submit offers, we want to submit that along with the offer and let them know that, hey, we're serious. We have the funds. It might not be cash, but this is just as good as cash, because in the next 30 to 45 days or so, typically is the average loan process.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Roughly 30 days, we can have a check to you from the bank, and we'll be making payments to the bank. So take your pre-approval letter with you and your realtor with you, of course. Go find you some homes, and we'll talk about how to start the home search in part 3 coming up next. So click on that video somewhere around here, right? All right, cool. Have a great day. Thanks, guys. See you.